Hello and welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I will be your host today. And welcome the lifeboat. We are live on the lifeboat. Did you hear that, Ben?
Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. Oh my.
Hey,
Hi.
hey, freak.
Uh, it's been a circus couple of days. Let's just put it that way. It's Tuesdays are always a circus. Today turned into an even bigger circus. So,
Well, that can be entertaining at least. Has that been the case?
no, no. So,
You can't be.
yesterday I get through everything that I get through on a Tuesday anyways. So I've transferred places where I am, and there's some new rules. And one of the new rules I quite appreciate. I get to cook once a week. So I'm making a Middle Eastern inspired dish for today. And last night I go into the fridge, make sure all my ingredients are there. Guess what? They're all effing gone.
Oh
Every
God.
single one of them that had my name on it waiting to be cooked is effing gone. I discovered this at 9:30 at night. My anxiety rises, right? So I go, right? So this morning I have an appointment at 9 a.m. with the social worker. I have the Quebec version of the DMV to deal with this morning at 10:45. So after the Quebec version of DMV, I end up going to the grocery store, heading back here. Luckily, we cook in teams. So I have somebody else with me. And she's just like, don't worry, I got it. I made the hummus before I left. She ended up marinating the pork for me. And then I came back and made the tabbouleh salad. And now I'm just like, you're on your own until I'm done, because now I need to go to a meeting. Because I'm needing a meeting.
Yeah, and that's the thing for not leaving you any of your food. My goodness.
Oh my goodness. I had a slight connection fight at 9:30 last night. I was exhausted as was, and it's just like, no, this is not something I can deal with right now.
We have a tiara. We have a tiara. We have a tiara. Mischief. Listen to this, you guys.
Uh-oh.
Hi, Carol. I made it
There, I got a medal.
25 years continuous sobriety today.
Amazing.
That is amazing. I'm delighted
I
to
got
have made
chills.
it this
That's
far,
amazing.
one day at a time. Flowers, cake, and a lovely meal with hubby to celebrate. And Mama's tiara.
Yes. Yes.
And Mama's tiara. This is my mom's.
I'll hold up a medal for
She
him.
wore it her last birthday, which was her 95th birthday. And we all wore tiaras to celebrate her and did it up real as big as we possibly could.
I love that story.
Yeah.
Sounds
Life
pretty cool.
is good, Monique. That is awesome, Mischief. Congratulations.
Yes.
You did that. And it's amazing.
I love it.
And amazing.
Oh, I need to.
I was trying to put Monique's comment. Wow, this chat's moving fast. So it looks like both the lifeboat and hello, Lumen. Hello, Moni69. Let's see. JBZ. Izzy E. Life's good. So that they're both feeding into here, which is fantastic.
I was just trying to open up two screens.
So, hello, Zelda. And my chat is deciding to not move because I have a thing here. Let's see if I can get that thing to go away. There we go.
Oh.
Yeah, that drop down thing that tries to get me to block people when I've actually accidentally done that a few times.
Yeah.
And I hate when I do that. So it's not on purpose if you're behaving.
I found one of my medals, so I figured I would use it in place because I refuse to wear a tiara. I mean, I'm pretty secure with what little manhood I have, but yeah, I'm still not going to wear a tiara.
Well, be impressed because at Mama's birthday, Steve even wore a tiara.
Nice.
See, I can see that though. I can see that though.
Yeah, he looked amazing. Matrix, how are you?
I'm okay.
You okay?
What's happening?
Oh, I just get overwhelmed with stuff and then I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I am pretty familiar with that. I really am.
Thanks.
I'm sorry. Is there anything we can do?
I figured out a way to. I'm just gonna break it down to its smaller parts and get those done.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Is it situational, or is it something going on inside? Like with me, it would be my insides hindering me.
Both.
Okay.
I mean, y'all know I was still afraid to go on, do live and stuff like that because of what happened to me last time. So I got that going for me, and then I got the whole, in the back of my head, I got people say, well, you're never going to amount to anything.
Still?
And part of me doing
like
all
right
that.
Yeah. As in right now?
Oh, it's been there since I was 14 years old. I mean, for me to do
I think
something,
it's time to tell
it's a lot.
Tell them what they can do with that.
Well, I mean, most of the people who told me that, they are no longer with us. So I win there.
Okay.
Yeah. So it sounds like a PTSD maybe reaction to it at this point. It's that Ben says it best talking about the neural pathways. He's the neuro person. But, you've got all that negative talk coming at you. And actually, this is fun. This is not funny, but it's funny how the universe works. This is something that I was talking about in recovery management last night. And talking about the addictions, the words that we tell ourselves as an addict and how similar they are to PTSD reactions. And I'm realizing that a lot of my anxiety right now, I thought it was addictions. I thought it was, I thought that's what was still kind of hanging over me, but I'm realizing it's not. So Matrix, if you would like, I can share the handouts once I get them with you privately for the recovery management last night, and it covers PTSD a bit.
Okay, that's cool because I definitely have PTSD.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is a very good point, because people who aren't stressed, who haven't gone through traumatic events, they tend to not turn to drugs because life is going really well for them. Yeah.
Or life's going really well for them, and they just want to keep pushing it to see how far they can go before somebody pushes back on them. There's those people too.
That happens too. Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying, sometimes narcissism takes over and people will change.
That is interesting though, because the stories we tell ourselves have a profound effect on us. There was one of the what was her name? Tara, not Tara Smiling. I have her in my brain now. There was a doctor, a neuroscientist, and she said they did an experiment where people would just envision lifting weights. The people who did that gained 13% muscle mass, and they're not lifting. They are just envisioning it in their little noggins. So it goes both ways. I mean, what's going on with your body affects your brain. What's going on in your brain affects your body. So
it's the 3-body problem that will never be solved.
So I've never heard this. Can somebody explain that to me? The 3-body problem?
Yeah, I've never heard that either.
Trying to figure out the simplest way. It's your mind, your body, and your soul.
Okay, I understand.
They're 3 parts that make up the whole of you.
Yeah.
Mind, body, spirit. Yeah.
That makes sense. I had just not put it in that form in my head, but thank you so much for explaining that, Matrix.
I've been digging into a whole bunch of esoteric books, so there's a lot up here.
Right on.
Yeah.
I have a lot of interest when it comes to books. I mean, I got books from alchemy to the Templars and back. I mean, I got a
Right
whole
on.
ton of art books. I like what I like.
Yeah. Waiting for my email to open here so I could pull up the handouts, but I also grab my notes at the same time because I'm that person. For me to have something stick in my head, I need to have what the educational information is, and then I need to make my own notes on it. And
Yeah.
that way it sticks with me.
Yeah.
So like some of the I would call it internal dialogue. Okay. The recovery dialogue and the PTSD dialogue. Like the recovery dialogue is I need it now. I don't care about the future. Things should always go smoothly. I can do what I want. And then when you convert it, or not convert it, but you look at the PTSD side, it's the same type of negative thoughts that are naturally or easily coming to us.
I got a
But this
question.
is where you, yep.
Most people with PTSD um, do turn to substances. I mean, Ben's right. There are some successful people who don't, and I don't get them. But hey, that's just me.
I don't get
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, you're human, but you're not human. Because I mean, everybody I know, when the rough gets going, their first thing is, "Where's the bar?" I mean, that's the reason why I drank the way I did. Because I grew up with everybody getting loaded every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at my house. My mom
Mhm.
worked with construction workers, so I
Oh,
mean, there's
okay.
usually 4 or 5 of them hanging around at a time. So, and then her 4 or 5 friends. So, I mean, it was always party.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Hey,
I know
can you
why I
see
ended up
comments, Todd?
being a drunk, huh?
Can you see comments?
I can. I just
Okay,
figured out how to do that.
I wanted you to hear this one though. Todd, you're an amazing super rabbit. Remember that. That's Moni 69.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Moni calls me the super rabbit all the time. I guess I'm the Energizer bunny with the drum.
And Izzy E wants to know, Ben, were you thinking of Dr. Tara Swart?
You're on mute, Ben.
Yeah, you're on mute, Ben.
I didn't just cuss. I didn't just say a cuss word. I think
You
so.
you were having a pretty good conversation there, though, I must say.
Tara. I was thinking Tara Stewart.
Okay,
Okay.
maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's it's SWART. So maybe it was meaning Stewart.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not.
Monique,
It's not.
Monique,
It,
um,
oh,
part of that, I got that too. The
That what?
agoraphobia thing.
Oh,
See,
Agoraphobia.
okay. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
well, so ever since I mean, I can go outside. Don't get me wrong. I was out there for like an
Okay.
hour and a half today. I can go outside my house. I can go to stores. I just don't like to be gone that long.
Okay.
But I'm working on it. I mean, ever since the pandemic, and that wrecked a lot of people
It sure
because you
did.
couldn't go nowhere.
Anybody who didn't have trauma before that certainly didn't come out of it without it.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah,
that
yeah.
traumatized the whole world.
Hello, Charlie. Good to see you. Whew. Well, I'm sorry that you're having a down day. Hopefully there's a mend. Do you
Oh, I'm working on it.
hmm.
I mean, I've been working
okay.
on it for like 13 years. I'm probably gonna work on it for 13 more.
Right on.
Yeah, I feel like PTSD is something that we just continually try and manage, try
Yeah,
and
I mean,
figure out
it's
the next trick, you know?
yeah. What's gonna work this time?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I was journaling today. I got to figure out a way to make the world work for me, or else I might have a really hard time. So that's what I'm doing, trying to make the world work for me now.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Who we got?
So one of the notes, I finally got it open. The internet's just being silly today because of the snow that we've had. Yes, it snowed at the end of April here today. While I was out in all of my glory, I was having such a great moment. Anyways.
When I was in boot camp, it snowed in May.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was at Great Lakes, so you had the lake effect, yeah.
Yeah, and I was saying to somebody here, I'm like, I remember that about 7 to 5 years ago, it was snowing at the end of May in Ontario. And I'm like, now I'm in Quebec, and it's so completely different. And everybody's complaining about the snow. I'm like, I expect us to get like 2 or 3 more snowfalls. I'm going to be honest.
Quebec, isn't that like north?
No, I'm right beside Ontario.
Well, Ontario's pretty. I mean, that's
well, look closer to like Toronto, Ontario, not like Lord Kiss Freak, Ontario. That's the best way I can put it. Is Lord Kiss Freak, Ontario.
Yeah, he gets all the snow.
So
like we do have northern Quebec, which would be kind of in line with Lord Kiss Freak, but I'm closer. I'm at the bottom, closer to the States.
Gotcha.
I'm very close to Vermont, to be honest.
And Lord Kiss Freak's more closer to the Arctic Circle.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So one thing that I wanted to share with you, Matrix, that I learned last night, this isn't a technique that I had heard before, was create a new story for yourself. So I have a lot of those, you're worthless, you're not able to, that my PTSD statements, okay?
I tried doing that.
Okay, never mind.
Well, no, I mean, I had a place that I went to for about a year with all the handouts and stuff like you do, so
yeah.
I went through some of that with that and a whole new story. I tried it. I really did. It didn't work. And then I started reading about like in sniper school, they would teach them, create a story, but then they told them they had to stop doing that because they started liking the people. So they couldn't create a story anymore. So it's crazy though.
Jump back a little bit.
Hello.
Hello.
I had a doctor's appointment, and I'm finally home from doctor's appointment in the pharmacy, so I had to join because I'm not working.
Yay! Love that. Good. I have DJ. Go ahead.
DJ says hi.
Hi, DJ.
He's like, none of that now.
How are you, Cosmic?
I'm good. I'm just reading some things. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Good. Well, I have my studio airing out today. My air conditioner stopped working, so I had to put the screens in some of the windows so I could raise the windows and I have fresh air. So if you hear farm sounds, you're not going out of your mind. It's really on a farm.
Nice.
When you hear that rooster, it's actually there.
It's not your imagination this time.
Yeah. Hi. And that screaming goat is actually there. Yeah, if you hear a scream, it's a goat.
What temperature is it in Arkansas right now?
It's about 80.
Okay.
Arkansas? Isn't it Arkansas?
No, it is not.
Hey, Minnesota has been stuck in my head. Thank you so much, Cosmic.
Minnesota, not Minnesota. I'm not offended.
Now, every time I hear it, I think of a tiny little soda can.
The land of 10,000 lakes, though I don't think we're the only one. But it's 60
I was born
here.
in Iowa, and I lived there until I was
Uh-oh.
16.
Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, Todd. Somehow the volume had gotten turned down on you. I apologize. We missed what you just said.
Well, I was just telling her that I lived in Iowa until I was like 16 on and off. So I'm a fellow Midwesterner.
Yes.
Okay.
I've been through Iowa. There is nothing there.
Cornfields.
Cornfields.
And cornfields, yes.
Well, there's Cedar Rapids, there's Waterloo. Well, now they got all the casinos on their reservations, like in Tama and stuff. So there's a lot to do there in Iowa now. Well,
I
a
was
lot
gonna
of it
say,
around gambling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I live in Pennsylvania, and I mean the gas station down the street, it's got 3 slot machines in it. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we got legal gambling like 10 years ago, and they just start showing up all over the place. Now they're trying to pass a law saying you can't have them in gas stations, which that's not what the law says right now.
Okay.
Hey, they got in Vegas. They got them everywhere. I mean, they're even in the grocery store. I was shocked.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been to Vegas and it drove me crazy. The ding 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 of all the machines. Oh.
Yeah, no matter where you go, restaurant, hotel, every place has a slot machine in
Yeah.
Vegas.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And
That is
Elvi.
crazy.
I can't imagine being like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go get some milk and have a slap. Having a slap is what people call going on the pokies here, because you have to slap the buttons.
Going on the what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The slot machines over here are called pokies.
Oh,
You poke
okay.
the machine. You don't put the money in, and you don't do this anymore. So it's pokies.
Okay.
We're all very good on what we name things over here. But yeah, so when
What's the matter,
people go,
Ben? Ben, you turning
Oh,
red.
no.
What's the matter?
Did you eat a peanut? Tell me you didn't eat it.
No,
Did
no,
you eat a
no.
peanut?
I was laughing at the terminology.
I was gonna say,
I know what you were laughing at. I was just being sarcastic.
The next time Ben eats a peanut on needing a meeting, we need to write down a timestamp, somebody, because I'm going to go back and I'm going to clip that out.
Oh. Hopefully Lord Kiss Freak doesn't show up tonight. I have to go. I have no choice.
anyone
I'll
know?
keep my eye out and I'll get him to egg you on.
Anybody know Lord Kiss Freak's contact information? Let's reach out and have him come on. Stasha, you can reach out.
You're like, I need your help. I need your help, please. How are you doing, Christy?
Yeah.
I'm okay. I've got a bit of a migraine. So yeah, it's just been trying to, rest and relax, but I wanted to pop on because you were multi-streaming with the boat, so I wanted to encourage you. Be here to support you. Yeah.
So I guess that officially makes you a Ripple now, right?
Yes, I guess it does. How about that?
Been Ripple for a while.
Well, I'm just saying, it's pretty cool.
It is cool. It's very, and it's really cool because all the comments are coming in through the reach. I don't have to do any toggling. As far as I know, I'm not.
Mackie the mic.
Why does she sound underwater?
Yeah, you sound underwater. You sound gargly.
How about now? How about now?
Better. Oh.
Okay.
Congratulations, Mistress.
Can you purr for everyone? I just had purring.
Aw.
Can you purr for them? Or make biscuits like you did on this morning? She's looking all mad.
She's like, I don't do that for anybody.
I only do that for you to wake you up in the morning.
Yeah,
Because I like it.
well, I mean, the Egyptians used to worship cats to the point where, like, the Philistines would, like, take a whole bunch of cats and flood the field with it, so the Egyptians couldn't fight because you can't kill a cat because Bastet and
Yes.
bass. So
What
yeah,
are we celebrating?
so they put them on their shields too.
Celebrating
Yay,
25
mischief.
years sobriety and showing off. Damn Skippy.
Ah,
Let's
Yeah.
hope pride doesn't come before a fall. It won't. I'm in pain and getting
No.
old, but today I'm puffed up with pride, and you should be. Just another day tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, today we're
Yeah.
going to celebrate you. Mama's tiara.
We've got
That's
another
For
one
those
too.
of
I
you
just
who
had to
are
go up in
new-
chat.
Huh?
We've got another one too. I just had to go up in chat to find it. JBZ, 22 years clean
Oh.
from Gamblers Anonymous.
ABC. That's
Awesome.
amazing. I'm
Great.
gonna put on Mama's
Very
tiara
cool.
for you too. This was my mother's tiara on her 95th birthday. It was her final birthday. 95 years regal was how we did her cake, and we all wore tiaras. And yeah, so this is Mama's tiaras. That's how we celebrate sobriety or any milestone around here. We have all kinds of milestones. We're not just about sobriety. We're about a lot of recovery from a lot of things, or just hanging out. Sometimes you just want to hang out and connect with
Yeah.
people, and it does
Love
help.
it.
It does help us stay sober, if that's what our goal
Right.
is. It does help us take some of the edge off of the anxiety. Can throw lots of things at us to bring us anxiety.
Yeah.
To
Like
know
food
you're
missing
not
from the fridge.
alone.
What did you say,
Like
Sasha?
what?
Said like food missing from the fridge. So Rebecca and Christy, you missed it. So I go to take a look last night, 9:30 at night, make sure my ingredients are there for my Middle Eastern inspired dish tonight. All excited, something to look forward to. It's all gone. It's all gone. And my day, bless you, adorable, but bless you. So the ingredients are all gone. My day today was just another circus, and I had to figure out how to fit in going to the grocery store because I had to go to the Quebec version of DMV today. And I end up getting the ingredients and everything, but I just couldn't handle one more thing yesterday, and that one more thing happened.
I'm so
So
sorry.
I'm laughing about it now. I'm laughing about it now. But it was just, it was that one thing I couldn't manage yesterday, and I was like, "Urgh."
So somebody ate the food out of the fridge?
What it was is the house will purchase the ingredients for whatever you need for the dinner that you're cooking for that week, and yes, somebody ate all of the ingredients. It was there the day before.
That's just
How
wrong.
many people are there?
I'm sorry, Cosmic, I couldn't hear you.
How many people are there?
10 women plus right now 4 kids.
So someone ate the food for 14 people.
Essentially, it was like in the matter of 3 days, all of a sudden the fridge was empty. I'm like, what happened?
How many of those
Like,
kids are
seriously.
teenagers?
1.
There you go.
But I promise you it wasn't him
that
because
many?
he likes chocolate and only chocolate and carbs. And it was all vegetables that were gone.
Is he a weightlifter?
No.
Okay. Well, you said chocolate and carbs. Usually that's a combination for weightlifters or football players.
Yeah, no, he's just in my opinion, he's just a teenage boy. All teenage boys I've known just like chocolate and carbs. I'm just going to answer Shannon so that I don't have to type it. Shannon, I do not speak French, actually. That's why being in Quebec has been quite difficult. But I should be starting French classes next month. That way I can read, write, and speak enough French to rewrite my qualification or go back to school. So opening up choices for myself and options for myself at this point.
Did you try Babbel?
I have not tried Babbel, but I do have Duolingo on my phone now. So at least I'm getting like the basic phrases down. So when somebody asks me how I'm doing, I can at least understand and respond.
Oh, you got a Google
Um,
Translate thing?
yeah, I use Google
Yeah.
Translate all the
Yeah,
time.
that's cool.
They
And
have said that
eval.
Duolingo is actually a game more so than a language learning thing. So you're more likely it's fun. You learn a few phrases and stuff. So you're better off going with a different, not Duolingo.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the way that I'm looking at it right now, Duolingo is fun, and I can do that to get myself started. But
Yeah.
then my like serious studying of French is going to be done in class. Well, it's a Rosetta Stone, but you end up doing it over Zoom. So I'm
I've
just
heard
like,
about that
okay,
one.
yeah. So I'll do that so that I get
Hey,
the
Terry.
better understanding of it. Now, one thing though that I've noticed is that Quebecois French is more like Franglish. So they take a lot of English words, like instead of using the like European French word for tire, they literally just call a car tire tire. So I have to figure out where those are too. It's like an extra level of figuring out which part is Quebecois and which part is just European French, and how do I manage this now?
Hey, I know a French
That's gotta
word
be
I
hard.
can teach you. Are you ready?
What's that one? Yes.
Merde.
So you know what the square one is. And that's it.
Nair?
Merde is
What does it mean?
French.
Shit.
I mean, shit.
I don't know if YouTube picks up on the like French bad words, but I've been having with them.
That's a word I know. Actually, I did take some French, so I can read French better than I can speak it. I don't have the accent super great, but I can read it. But no, that was my favorite word.
I
can-
2 years of French and I don't remember anything.
Say I can do bonjour, comment allez-vous,
There you go. There you go.
Right on.
and merci. I can be polite.
Yep.
Or in s'il vous plaît, for please.
I can say je parle français un peu. Means I speak French a little. That
How are you, Tara?
I'm
Oh,
good.
sorry.
Thank you for asking. Did Stacia, did I hear you say, I think I heard you say one person ate the food for 14 people?
Essentially, in the matter of 3 days, yes.
It's not funny, but it's a little bit funny only because I've lived in places like that, and it just boils my blood when people steal my food.
Ooh, yeah.
It's
I
like
put names all over it. I closed the bags. Like I went through the process to make sure it was safe.
Mhm.
And I was just so perturbed last night. And it was 9:30 at night when I discovered it. I was No, we had a cranky Stacia for the last like hour and a half of last
Yeah.
night. It was there was just very cranky Stacia. I just stayed in my room. I'm like, that's it.
Did you at least
Sorry?
invest any money in blocks of cheese to throw? Possibly.
No, I feel like I need to like find somebody from Wisconsin like, on the boat and just like send me a bunch of foam cheese, and I'll just start chucking foam cheese at everybody.
Find a cheese-headed Great Bend. That's what you need.
I know people. I was
There you
born
go.
and raised most of my life in Wisconsin. I know people.
We need foam cheese. We being the royal we.
Eat the cheese hat.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Cheese head.
something else. There's big square cheese hats.
I learned how to ride a horse in Wisconsin. I was there for like 2 weeks, and my cousin had a white Arabian and a pony, and I got to ride the pony. I mean, we rode for like 8 hours a day, kind of deal.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was fun though.
Right on.
And Moni's
Wow.
right. We Australians from different states fight about what we call potato scallops. They're flat pieces of cut potato, like a potato thing.
Like scallop potatoes here in the Midwest.
Yeah,
Call it.
but it's deep fried, and some people call it potato cakes.
Okay.
And I'm just like, it's not cake, it's a scallop.
And that's
But-
where it differs from ours.
And then down in I think Victoria, I think they call it potato cakes. And but I'm a staunch Kiwi, so it's always going to be potato scallops to me, because that's where it was, where my particular place in New Zealand called it that. So, and you know, in New Zealand they got different names for different things too, depending on where you're from. It's just it's like I think I was saying yesterday, it seems to be a bit of a tribal culture going on about with certain aspects of things, you know. Once you're part of the tribe, you want to fight for that tribe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered. So sorry to interrupt. Carol, if Tony asks for my contact information, feel free to send that to them.
Okay, this Tony here. This Tony? No, Tony B. No, you're not Tony. You're Todd. Sorry.
What? Feel free to send Tony.
Yeah,
We were
I'm Todd.
time.
I'm not Tony.
You
Todd
are not
Tony.
Tony.
Yeah.
Tony B though, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Tony Todd is the original. He had the bees and the hook.
I don't know what that is.
It's a movie.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I like that name, Tony Todd.
Yeah, no, Tony Todd though, he's played a lot of bad guys in movies too. So,
Okay. I bet I would know him if I saw him.
He was in The Crow. He was Top Dollar's
Okay.
#1 guy.
All right. Okay. It's been too long since I've seen The
Top
Crow.
Dollar's the guy who stabbed him, and the one guy in the throat with the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
I want
my.
to learn
Yeah.
a sword fight. That would be so cool.
Right?
And
Where do
see,
you
yeah.
live? Because I could teach you. It's not that hard.
I'm in California. Where
Well,
are you
I
at?
am.
I'm on the East Coast. So.
Opposite coasts. Opposite
Well,
coasts.
no. I mean, I was in San Diego for a while. I'm planning on getting like a van, like a
Nice.
Class B van thingy with sleeper and everything in it, and I want to drive to all the places I either used to live or I lived there for like a year. Because San Diego, I lived there for a year, and then the boat came around, and I ended up in Philly for the last 2 years. So during the war and everything, I was sitting in dry dock in Philly, watching it with the captain
Okay.
on CNN. Because I mean, that was the first real war that was put on CNN 24/7.
Wow.
Is that Desert Storm?
Is that the 90s
Yeah,
one?
it's Desert Storms. One in the late
Yeah.
was in 1989. They called it the 1,000-hour war.
Yeah.
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 Because
That was what
that's how
some
long we were there.
Some could call the beginning and the downfall of what was happening in the Middle East and the Western countries.
Yeah.
But my friend went to Afghanistan, and they've got and Iraq, and they burn pits over there.
Yeah, I heard about them.
She's now going through the process of breast cancer because of it. Because there's one
That's
particular
horrible.
type that's caused. Yeah, there's one particular. It's okay. She's okay because it's a very slow growing cancer, and she's
Okay.
lucky that it is this. She's lucky it's from the burn pits actually, because if it wasn't, it would be a more aggressive, faster cancer. But the thing is, the reason why she is lucky is because she found it early. If she hadn't, because it is so slow growing, it could have been worse in the future. Anyway, the government over there, that guy, what's his name? He's on that show, the Daily Show, Jon Stewart. His fight for the veterans and all that sort of stuff, and to get properly paid for burn pits and being over in Iraq has actually made a huge difference for her as well, because she's included in that. And so now, instead of having to fight the VA for treatment, it's not as difficult. So if you know anyone who was in that particular in the army at that particular stage, and just get them to talk to the VA because they're not going to contact you.
Right.
Yeah, I had two cousins that were over there, and they were writing me letters.
Mm. Wow. What a
British
theme.
Bake Off, Mischief? Yeah.
British Bake Off? I guess I assume that's what that is.
Yeah, well, I've seen there's an Australian one as well. I don't know if there's an American version, but I love the British version because it's got Noel Fielding on it, and he's hilarious.
There is a Canadian one.
Is it?
Yeah.
I like the baking shows.
Yeah, there's an American one too.
I hate baking with a passion. I'll never want to look at another cupcake in person. But I love watching the baking shows because they're so full of joy and silliness, especially the celebrity versions, because they're not trying to win generally.
Mm-hmm.
Carol, is it okay if Tony just emails you with their contact information, and then Carol can share it between us, Tony? So feel free to share both my email and my phone number.
Okay. Will do.
Thank you.
Right on. So any news on your test, Tara?
Oh my God. I'm dying to tell them what happened. So it has been a polarizing day because of this silly test. So I got the worst news from the testing company today that because I started the test, there was no way for them to override me taking a new test. Like, I had to actually call the testing entity, the one that gives the certification out. So it's like there's the testing company, and then there's the entity that gives the certification, and like they're the ones who wrote the test. I had to reach out to them today, and I was just like holding back tears once I got the nay from the testing company. But they called me back at the beginning of this meeting. They called me back, and good news, they're waiving the fee for them to authorize another retest. So it's just set up. I'll be able to. Yeah. So thank God I won't have to pay for it.
Yay!
Good. Good.
Yeah. Thank God. That would have been just. I mean, it was already bad enough, like I got an email that said like, you did not pass. And I'm like, I know I failed the test. Like, why did you don't have to rub it in, but
it was probably automatic.
It was automatic. Yeah. But they told me it could take a while to make the decision. And then later that day, that email came through, and it didn't mention my case number. It mentioned none of the correspondence that we had. It just seemed like a generic autoresponder email. And so I had my fingers crossed that it was just an auto response. But I called today to get to the bottom of it. And really, there was nothing that the testing company could do because I took half the test. And the scholarship that I'm on, the authorization is only for one test. So it was like, the few hours that were in between that phone conversation and the phone conversation that I just got off of not long ago was so polarized, so different, but I am happy to report that the news is good.
Yes.
That is such a relief.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Yay.
I was kind of afraid to ask because I didn't want to bring it up and bring bad memories. So
yeah, right. Yeah, like see me start twitching or something like that.
I just saw your name, Ben.
Ben, the angel who never does anything wrong.
I am
You see everybody lean into the screen at the same time.
My screen's massive, so I don't have to.
I was in your dreams, Ben. And I only said that because I know that you could take a joke.
So Ben, if you're an angel, tell me when's the best time to take this retest?
So many thoughts. Can't choose just one.
That's okay. I'm open to hearing more than one.
But let me know if. Oh my gosh! Let me know if we need to airlift. I don't know, like 200 pounds of dog manure and dump it in somebody's car. Let me know how that goes.
I think their hands were just tied. I don't think anybody was doing anything malicious. It didn't sound to be that way. It just sounded like it's the way that their system is. Like every single person at Pearson View that I talked to told me, which there were 4 of them. I talked to 4 different people. They all told me that if there was something that they could do instantly, they would. None of them wanted to see me like have that failing score. So I don't think any manure will be needed unless we're fertilizing like a rose bed or something like that.
Well, how many automatons did you run into in this process?
What is an automaton?
Somebody who doesn't think for themselves. Like a robot. A robot would be an automaton.
One.
Okay.
Two. One at the testing entity and one at the that I talked to a couple of days ago at the what did I say? The testing entity, the test creator and the testing company. One at each of them.
Okay. All right. Well, feel free. Feel free to take some names, and
Can I get your badge?
And remember, let these people know who you are. Don't you know who I am? I think that's part of the problem. I think you just didn't say I'm Tara.
I don't have that much clout yet, Ben. I don't think that would have worked. No, I don't think that would work. But I ran into more helpful, pleasant people than I ran into, what did you call them? Automatrons or something?
Yeah.
Automatons.
Automatron, tomato. Anyways, I ran into more helpful people that really were empathetic and apologetic. And so I'm appreciative of them, because if it weren't for them being helpful, I think it would have been much more challenging to deal with.
Sure. Okay. Well, hey, at least it's not as bad as Plant Freaks episode with the DMV. Speaking of automatons, because
I missed what happened with it. Can I get a cliff note?
Honestly, the Quebec version of DMV went really well. I'm not going to lie. That went really well. They made me set an appointment. I set it for 10:45. I was 5 minutes late. I feel really bad about that, but I still waited until 11:30. So not a great big deal being 5 minutes late. But then I had to go to the grocery store to get all of the ingredients that we're eating. And then I was able to come back and start cooking and take the next 3 phone calls and, keep going for the day. So I took on a little bit too much today. I did. And I was just exhausted, and I wouldn't say that I've been the greatest person to be around. And it was like, okay, I need meetings. Like, this is the thing that pipes me up in the day. So I need that before I can eat and deal with more people.
Makes sense.
You're lucky that you're Quebec, or you might call it Quebec. You're lucky that version is not like Arizona, because Arizona, if you made a reservation or an appointment, they'd like, oh, hey, John, check it out. This person thinks they're going to get in at this time.
I was hoping that it was going to be as quick as it was, because the last time I went, it took 3.5 hours. But this location for the town that I'm in, I went on Monday, completely planning on getting what I got done today done on Monday. And they're like, no, you need an appointment. I'm like, no, I need to get this done. And they're like, you need an appointment. I'm like, then find me the soonest appointment. I'll make sure I'm here. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, well, Wednesday at 10:45. I'm like, great, I'll move things around. Mm-hmm. I need to get it done because it would expire May 8th. And then I just didn't know if I was going to have time because I'm going to reset. I'm going to take some time to myself, and I don't want to have to be in panic mode when I come back.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that would defeat the purpose of taking time and trying to recharge a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, no, I got to get this done before I go. Like, there's no option. I'm sorry. Like, you will find me an appointment before Friday.
Well, if I ever have to go to the DMV again, I think I'm going to bust out all the stops and I'm going to tell them I'm Tara, and they're like, "Oh, holy crap! Okay, get out my yeah. We'll clear the way. Here. Have take all the money out of my wallet too."
No, that has never worked for me, Ben. I don't think that I would recommend that.
I don't know if you saw Matrix. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to say, I'm going to hop off. My head is killing me. I'm going to turn off these lights,
No.
lay with the rice
take
bag
care
on
of
my
you.
head, and just Michael will be home soon with some dinner, and just going to try to get through this day. My headaches usually last for a few days, my migraines, so I'm really hoping this is just maybe tension and it doesn't. But, so yeah.
I'm sorry.
But Tara, I'm so glad to hear your good news.
Yes.
So that's
you.
awesome. And Stasia, glad you got your food. You're just, and I will talk to you all later. I just wanted to come on and support Carol with her first ever ripples on the boat. So I will chat at you guys later. Take care.
Take care of you.
Love you. Bye.
Yes.
We're on the boat right now?
Boat and needing a meeting. We're simulcasting.
Oh, hey
Yeah.
everybody. Nice to see you. I had no idea.
Yeah, and just so you guys are aware, like if you're in through Restream, it'll show you the comments if you see that for both of them, but I have to run Restream on my phone and I have the chats on my computer, so I have to have both screens open that way. So I apologize to everybody I didn't say hi to.
Yes, I do too, actually. And I'm hoping all the comments are filtering in. It's pairing the comments too, it says. So I'm hoping I'm not missing anybody's comments. And if I am, I apologize.
Confused about the pairing thing. It took me a little bit to figure it out. I was like, what's happening now?
Oh,
right?
That's what paired means. Okay, got it.
So paired is going to be from the lifeboat, and the other ones is going to be from needing a meeting. I figured that out, Carol, when you and Christy simul-streamed. Yesterday,
Okay.
I think it was. Yeah.
I was just going to say, in regards to the DMV comment, I went to renew my license the other day, just it was about 20 minutes away, and it took me 20 minutes to do it. So I just walked in, had my photo taken, and then done.
Right on.
See, that sounds wonderful.
Nice.
Yeah. But that's because it's a small town. If it was like in the city, there's lines out the door. So
Yeah.
My last one was easy too, and they've got the whole real ID thing in Minnesota, and we were allowed to renew our during COVID. We were allowed to renew our license with the same picture you had before, just so that they didn't want people to come in, and so I had done it that way, but I moved. And it took me 6 months to renew my driver's license, which is you're not supposed to do. But yeah, I did the app online and was in and out in less than 20 minutes. But I went when they opened intentionally.
Wow.
Okay.
There was in front of me. Yeah.
Do they use the same cameras and the same camera personnel there that make everybody look like an axe murderer on their little? Okay.
Yes.
I look so mad on mine. I'm just.
Well, it looks horrible, and I'm just like whatever.
but
I look like an angry troll in my license. An angry troll.
Our photos last 10 years here in Queensland, so I didn't have to get another photo for 10 years, and so I was just like, cool. And then I went in to take this one, and it's just like, why do I look so old and cranky? Because you're not allowed to smile, and you have to so you just go, okay. That's why they make you all look like criminals, because just in case you do something wrong, they got the photo there to make you look bad already.
They don't like you to smile?
No.
You're not allowed to smile, not in your license. No. You're not allowed to smile in your passport photo either.
Right.
Nope.
You're not.
I think I'm smiling in both my I'm definitely smiling in my license, but I think I'm smiling in my passport photo as well.
I
got
mine.
I tried to do the Mona Lisa. I was trying to be enigmatic. And I'm not smiling, but I kind of am because I don't want to look quite as mad with my RBF. So I was just like, okay, no, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't let me. This was 10 years ago, though. I could have gotten away with it because she was pretty nice.
Well,
speaking of RBF, I'm feeling very proud of myself. I know that after Friday and after travel, I'm going to have a severe case of RBF because I already have it. I've asked my friend to not, I don't want to say it, resting bee face.
Oh, I was going to say
it. Just because we're on both channels, I didn't want to say it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. I forgot about the other one.
So I know I'm going to have a severe case of it on Sunday. So I asked my friend to not be home. I said, give me a day, please, before I see you. And then we can spend a couple of days together. That'll be really great. That'll be really nice. But I don't want to transfer this energy onto you. And I kind of need to correct it for myself. And I need to not have the anxiety of just put a smile on your face. So I'm feeling really proud of myself to be like, can you peace out for a day? So that felt really good. I was like, I think that's showing progress for me because I'm always the people pleaser. I don't want to cause problems or change people's schedule, but I'm like, I really need this. So can you please help me with this?
Good for you.
Yeah, I need to get on board with that too myself.
I'm going to practice for my next DMV
resting itch
pick.
face.
I am going to practice my resting bee face for my next DMV photo. I am going to fully train for it.
Well, I actually have to do that this week. I've got to get a real ID. I've been putting it off, but I think you have to have a birth certificate and a social security card, and I have misplaced my social security card, so we'll see if I get it in time.
There's a list online, and you might not. I can't remember if you actually do need your social security card or not.
Okay.
I know I brought mine because I could find mine, but maybe there's an alternative. Not sure.
I have an old passport that expired in 2008 or 9.
It can't be expired. I thought about that. My passport's expired.
I think if passports generally, I don't know about over there, but here you can use them up 2 years after they've expired, but that's it.
Yeah. Ours didn't let me, but
yeah, but most it's up to the particular individual. I think most government organizations won't take it, but I had to get my passport to prove that I existed because the Australian government didn't think that I was in Australia, and I was like, how? I'm on benefits. And I asked them where I was calling them from, and they were like, I'm like, well, I can tell you, and I gave them my address. And yeah, so I had to get my passport to prove that I was here because I came over on my father's passport in '89. Can't do that sort of stuff now. And, yeah, and I don't have contact with my father, so I couldn't get him to get me all the details and all that sort of stuff. So it was just a non-person for a long time as far as the government was concerned.
Wow.
So, which was really hard because having to prove that I existed when and I'm a bit snarky at times. If I'm getting told I don't exist, I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm just walking around, magicking myself, and then I just magically had these 2 kids. They appeared out of nowhere because I don't exist. So it's just it was like 8-9 years of going through this until I ended up getting a passport. So because they went from paper to computer, and apparently I was one that wasn't transferred. Well, I might have been transferred with my father's details, but I couldn't get those or get him to call them anyway. But it's just like the process of having to have ID can be quite distressing, especially for those who just think about those who don't have an address, a fixed address. how do they have IDs?
Right.
In sorry, I'm like going back and forth between windows. I'm trying to respond to a comment on the lifeboat. Anyways, as a homeless person or someone experiencing homelessness, they have special IDs, at least in California, where you can get an ID without an address. But it's their special paperwork that you have to fill out.
Okay. Do you have to pay for it?
No, it's free.
Oh, okay, that's a good then.
That is good.
Because I know that licenses and stuff over here are quite prohibitive in price. Like if you want to if you don't have a car, which lots of homeless people don't, or a license even, you have to get this proof of ID thing, and it's like $300.
Yeah, I didn't actually know when I was experiencing homelessness that I didn't have an ID for a really long time, or my ID was an Arizona ID. It didn't have anything accurate on it except for like my photograph, my height, maybe my hair color. But finally, now that I'm working with people experiencing homelessness, I'm learning all the ins and outs, even more so than having gone through it. And yeah, there's a special form. It's just a 1-page form that you fill out to get an ID, and it's free. I had no idea though. They don't tell you these types of things when you're out there.
It's funny because the government never tells you what's out there, because they don't. The thing is, they don't actually want you accessing the services because it costs them more. The more people know about it, the more it costs them. But they can't not provide the services because it's a requirement of government to provide services like this. So that's one of the things. Is I'm very lucky that I am quite good on the Google, and I can find all this sort of stuff, and I know how to access this stuff. That's why when I was in my DV situation, I knew all the organizations and everything, because it's what I did for a while. I did that for other people. But it's the more you know, the more information you have, the better prepared you are for circumstances like this. So you may not be in trouble right now, but you never know someone who might be. So just reaching out or finding all the services in your area, like homeless services, DV services, free medical advice, free legal advice, all that sort of stuff. If you can get all of it compiled into a little easy notepad on your computer, anytime someone in your area needs help, it's quick and easy to send that through. Because a lot of times you don't know what to do for people other than be there. But if you can send on information to help these people, then it's a more proactive way of providing assistance. Where being there and providing care and support is always good, but practical assistance is sometimes needed as well.
Yeah. In that situation, especially. Yeah. I mean, that's a situation where, hugs and prayers don't quite help. I mean, they do help. I mean, it's not.
It's nice to.
It's a nice thing
to know that
hear.
people are out there supportive.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to hear.
We need active.
Practical, but yeah, you need something that's going to get you out of danger.
Yeah. Well, see, I have a whole bunch of numbers right here.
Okay.
So that if they're all the local numbers I've got. Like I've got the DV Connect, Men's Line, the Hospital and Drug Alcohol Service, Legal Aid, and some psychologists and all that sort of stuff as well, just so that I can send this on to anyone in my area that needs help, because I won't recommend a service I haven't actually used, because there are some out there that can not quite be as helpful in some circumstances as what you'd think.
Right.
Yeah. So if I haven't used it, I won't pass on, because I need to know that what information I'm passing on is correct and helpful.
Yeah. That is a good tip. That is a very good tip. I've actually, I tried to get my sister-in-law into a shelter one time because of my brother, I was just thinking about something earlier today. I never really realized it, but that broke my spirit. That's what happened to me. I didn't, it's like, I kept thinking, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just be myself? Why can't I be my normal person that I know myself to be?
Uh-huh.
And it broke my spirit. I
Mm.
it was like, oh my God, that's why. And I just I won't get to be who I was before that, but it is possible to recover from a broken spirit. So if
Yeah.
anybody needs to know that, uh, you can look here and see that it's possible. I'm not 100% where I was before. A lot of things have changed within me, and a lot of things that I used to, enjoy and live for have changed,
Mhm.
but life is still worth living, so that I'll take it.
Well, I have to say that my own experiences have made me appreciate life a little more instead of taking it a little bit. I took it all for granted because I've been through a lot over my life, and then and I was always like, "It's all good, I'll get through." And this last thing, I didn't think I'd make it through, and
Yeah,
I did. And you guys have seen over the time that I've even been on needing a meeting, I think I've progressed, and I'm not as broken as I was before. And a lot of that's got to do
right
with
on.
the support that I get from this group and the lifeboat and my smart recovery meetings and all that sort of stuff. Because I'm out there,
Right.
I've got my fingers in every support pie.
Yeah,
But it's like, and if I didn't have all of that, I don't know where I'd be now. And especially my best friends and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of that's got to do with the belief that I will get through this from being before, but I've lost
yeah.
the hubris of I'm not going to be affected by it as much, sort of thing,
Same.
because yeah,
Same. Yeah, that with that realization, I always thought, "Oh, nobody would ever be able to break my spirit." Not true.
Mm.
Somebody
Mm.
did.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because I thought
Yeah.
exactly the same. I thought it doesn't matter what I've been through, no one can touch what's inside, And then when it
Right.
happened, it was a
Yeah.
shock because I'm like, what? I thought I had
Yeah.
this tough little shell, and it's not there. It got
Yeah.
shattered, and
Yeah.
and I don't know if I want that shell back because
Okay.
uh, I want protection of some sort, but the hard shell of um, I don't know. I use sometimes cruel humor to get through it towards myself. Um, Not others. I try not to be cruel to others, but towards myself, I was very cruel and incredibly funny. I was hilarious, but very mean towards myself. And I've got to try and stop doing that. It's that negative self-talk thing,
Yeah.
and
Right.
and the more I stop doing that, the 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 better I'll be in the future. And I think that shell is what gave me that negative self-talk. It's what kept me strong.
Okay. Right.
Which it doesn't. I know
Right.
it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it did keep me strong.
Right on.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise, that is something. I couldn't stay at a shelter. They really are not that safe. Sometimes the streets were safer for me anyway.
Yeah,
Wow.
Wow.
totally. I experienced similar things,
Wow.
No kidding.
mayonnaise. It's at one point when I went to my third shelter, uh, the mental health there was so bad that I thought about moving back into my car
Mm.
instead of staying at the shelter because it just, I mean, I think actually the second shelter was more dangerous, but the third one there was just so much. The second one there was more people that were coming out of being incarcerated, and so
Okay.
it was a very rough environment. And
Wow.
I really just kept to myself. I didn't talk much when I was there.
Yeah.
Uh, Minded my own business. Didn't really interact. Well, I interacted with my safe people, but like if somebody new came in, I'd watch them like a hawk until I would talk to
Mm.
them. The third shelter, it was more like mental illness and less
Yeah.
people coming out of jail, different cities. And so
Mm.
it was interesting to see the difference between all the different, I was at 4 different shelters
Sure.
in total.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
Yeah, I've been in Australia. I think it's completely different. I haven't been to a homeless shelter. I've been to DV shelters.
Yeah,
And,
that's what I meant. My shelter was a DV shelter.
Yeah,
so I
and
do
I think
have
they're
that
a little
number.
bit. Yeah, they're a little bit different to
Yeah,
I think homeless shelters because they're like security. You're not allowed to tell anybody where you are. You sign a contract saying that you're never allowed to tell anyone where the shelter is. That's actually why I got kicked out one time. I didn't tell someone where the shelter was, but someone else who was a friend with my ex, way back when, she knew where it was because she was in it, and she told him. So he kept driving past, and I recognized his car. So I told the shelter that he was driving past, and I says I had no idea how he found out because I didn't even talk to him. And there's only one shelter in the area that I was at, so that's why she knew because she saw me walking down the street.
I guess
and it was only. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I've never been to one of those places. I am thankful for that. But I put myself in a. It's not really a place that they did rehab, but it was a dual diagnosis center. It was big money. It was a hell of a lot of money. It was equal to about as much as I made a year about 20 years ago. Um, but people who were there, they were talking about how this place has really good security, really good. I was like, no, they don't. They said, well, no, the last place I was at, it was easier to get drugs in the rehab than it was outside. And it's like, really?
Wow.
If
Yeah,
rehab's that
I've
bad,
heard that many times.
I mean, yeah,
I have heard that.
the place I was at, they had a few Hollywood and music people there, and they stopped even doing that because they said these people are too high maintenance. It's bringing everybody else down because they're too needy and they sneak stuff in. So it's like, wow.
Oh, yeah, that ain't good. And I've heard that dealers often hang and go to meetings to actually nab people afterwards, especially if they're new.
Yeah.
What a cruel thing to do to somebody.
Yeah, that was one of the things Tommy said that just like, wow.
One of the reasons I didn't go to rehab is because I was asking around to all the other people in HADS. Because I went to HADS twice, and I think I went
What
twice.
is that?
I went to. Oh, that's the hospital and alcohol drug service. It's detox. It's like a hard, fast detox. And so I was walking around asking everybody, what they thought about particular ones. Most of the time, if you go into rehab over here, like a long stay rehab, it takes 85% of your income. So that means I would have lost my housing stability, my house. And also they're not actually safe environments as far as drugs and alcohol and also people. So I didn't go because I'm like, I'm not going to go put myself in a place where it's dangerous and I can't afford it just to say that I've done it, because I did the detox like 3 times, once by myself. And it's like, I know I can do the detox. I can probably do the rehabilitation by myself as well, because if I don't have all that outside negativity on me, then I won't, relapse or even go into something that's different. Because you can't get alcohol in these rehab centers, but you can get quite a large amount of drugs. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's messed up. That is so messed up.
The rehabilitation system over here is absolutely stuffed because it's a money-oriented system, so that you're paid by the government to do it. The services that do it, they get funded by the government or whatever, and so they need to make profit from that. So and the more profit, they want to make more and more profit all the time. So less and less money is going into like the services that people in the rehab centers actually need, and that's true of lots of things over here. Everything gets contracted out, and nothing's really, because it's contracted out so many times. There's so much money lost in the process that a lot of it that money could help the service that is getting contracted out. So yeah,
Right.
doesn't make any sense to me.
And shelters are really similar to that. I mean, I used to smell all kinds of things being smoked when I was at the shelters. That's not supposed to be allowed.
Yeah, I did too when I was in
Mm.
one.
Mm-hmm.
That was
I
in the
was-
Well,
mid-90s.
my shelter was full of very sad women,
Yeah.
and I think there was also alcohol. I think some of the shelters are being used for people who have addiction problems as well, and also people with addiction problems are also, a lot of them go through DV, so I guess it's hard to separate them. But I had to leave one particular place because there was a lady in the unit next to mine who was quite violent towards her children all the time, and but never when the other people were there, the workers were there.
Okay.
Yeah, I could just hear the kids screaming
Wow.
constantly and her yelling at them, and I'm just like, I can't deal with this. I've just left a situation of violence, and I can't listen to this happening. And I also didn't know what to do. So I kind of left a little note saying, "This is what's happening," and I could hear it from downstairs. I said, but yeah, it was it was devastating. But the thing is, I couldn't judge her for it either, because
Right.
she's just come out of a horrible situation, and who knows what she had to do to keep her children in control, to keep them safe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I have to say, for my own self, I had to punish my children on behalf of my ex to make sure that they didn't get punished to the point of actual harm.
right.
So he'd say, you have to do this, because I don't know, one kid would get in trouble at school, and he'd say, you have to belt them when they get home. And I'd be like, I don't belt my children. And anyway, my kids are really good actors, and I'd get them to act out that they'll get really, really copping it. And I'd just be like, just cry, make it look like it's hurting. And so, and they did, but it didn't hurt. They didn't get hurt.
Yeah, but that's kind of
I
strange
had to do
that
it.
you guys were even put in that position.
That's why I'm saying I couldn't judge her, because I knew what I had to do to keep my children and myself safe until I could get out. So I can't judge people in that situation. Although I did try and get her help for it, because if people don't know what's happening, how can you help? So, but it's a situation that people find themselves in, and you'd be surprised at what mothers will do to keep their children safe from danger. And I read a lot of war stories about what people had to do in the war to keep their children safe and quiet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Extreme circumstances. Yeah.
And living in an extreme DV situation is like a one house war.
It's like what?
It's a house. It's a war in a house. One house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside a place can be a war zone. That's just.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
So
there was a
story for the day.
I was just going to say, I was in a domestic violence shelter for a while as a kid.
Okay.
I think it was somewhere right around 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, until there was a restraining order against my dad. And then we ended up, and he got evicted from the trailer that we had been raised in. And so my mom got back in there, but I knew he found us. I don't know how he found us, but he found us. Ooh. And I guess my part of my question is for you, Tara, because I know what that was. And granted, I was 11, so I was a kid. So there's stuff that probably potentially happened that I didn't know about. And I don't know if my dad found us because we played outside, like jumping in the leaves and, kid stuff. So I don't know if he found us because he was driving by and got lucky or what happened. But I'm curious from you, Tara, what kind of things make a regular, like a homeless shelter, unsafe? Because I've always kind of wondered how many people are working homeless So live in their car. I mean, they're talking about, at least around here, laws to make it illegal to live in your car. Which makes me just like, what do people do? If you can't afford your rent, but you're working potentially and you live in your car, I don't know.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That's
I don't know how they can make homelessness illegal.
Yeah.
Right.
I would turn of the century, they had the same problem, and that's why I had all them rooming houses for like a quarter and 10 cents and stuff like that. We don't have that anymore, where people just open up their house and says, rent a room, So
yeah,
you can't go small either. In a lot of
I did that, and he didn't pay, so I can understand why some people don't want to rent out rooms. But I'm making light of a serious situation.
Well, yeah.
I think that would be a scary thing too, to let a total stranger in my house, not, no background check, nothing like that. I think that's a big part of what makes them unsafe, is that you don't have to have a background check to get into one of these places.
Oh my God.
So there's a lot.
This day and age, though, you can do a background check from your house.
So the first shelter I lived at was a safe house, and I did have to have a background check to get into that place. But the second, I maxed out my time at the safe house, and so I had to go to a shelter after that. And so the second, third, and fourth places that I was at, there was no background check required. And a lot of the people had records. A lot of these people are under the influence of illicit drugs, very hard drugs, a lot of the time. And when you mix high stress situations with drugs and alcohol, things can get out of control very fast.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I think the drugs and alcohol are what make those types of places the most unsafe. Like, if there's one thing that I could pin, it would be drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
So is it like fights, or people get attacked? Or like when we're talking unsafe, I guess I don't know. Is pretty much anything go?
Different shelters have different rules, but one thing that was sure about all the shelters is if you put your hands on somebody, you were exited immediately. But that didn't stop people from getting into fights. It didn't stop people. It's like once your brain chemistry is so off and you're under the influence of, say, methamphetamine, for example, you're not thinking about, I'm going to get kicked out of here if I defend myself against this person. Right. And there's no rule where if it's self-defense that you're safe. It's like, if you're involved in it, you're out. So, but I would say more intimidation type of things, because these people are in survival mode. And so it has a very jail-like feel. I've never been incarcerated before, so I can't say for sure. But I've heard from people who have been incarcerated that they would rather be in jail than in some of the second shelter I was at was horrible. And those were the people who they were like, I'd rather be locked up than be at this place, because it's just you're sleeping. The men could see me in my bunk. I was in a top bunk. We were all in one room, and the men were on one side, the women were on the other side. When I would sit in my top bunk, the men could see me in my bunk. That feels very insecure. And,
oh my gosh, yes.
And I think that that felt unsafe to me. So aside from fights being broken out and people being aggressive, and sometimes I would be concerned. Can you hear me?
We got a situation here. Today is a day that is threatening my sobriety. Stacy Allen. Stacy, welcome. What can we do to help?
Yeah. I'm glad you saw that, Carol, because I was so
yeah. You can get through this. It's those are hard days. I've had them. And you can do it. But let us know what we can do to help. For real, Stacy.
Yeah, and Stacy, I like that you're aware that your sobriety is threatened. I think that's wonderful. And I think it's wonderful that you haven't done anything yet,
Yeah.
is what it sounds like. That's
Yeah.
a really positive thing.
Yeah.
And that you obviously put it out there that you
Yeah.
realize this and that you're willing
And it
to,
does,
you know,
doing just what you did does take a lot of the power away from those, the intensity. Sometimes. I hope it is right now. Yeah.
Would it
Let
help
us
to
know
talk
what we can do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have the same thought, Rebecca. I'm wondering if maybe Stacy would want to come on the panel and talk
Yeah.
about it, or
even if you don't want
Yeah.
it, you could turn the camera off if anything that we can do to help you.
Yeah. Glad you're here,
Yeah, I got my
Stacy.
camera off.
Hmm?
So I got
Yeah.
my camera off. So
I
Yeah.
do too,
Some
because I keep coughing.
Yeah. Hello from Georgia. Hello, Miss Sunrise Dawn. Good to see you. Yeah.
And thank you for the
Stacy, we are glad you're here.
because I haven't been watching the chat actually.
Right on.
yeah, I got so sucked into the story that I wasn't watching the chat either.
Well,
Of
and it was
Stacey's
good.
person.
It was good, but yeah, I want to do whatever I can. I'm working. Okay. Oh, yeah. So, have you got have you got a strategy for what you're going to do when you get off of work? That's the question.
Great question.
I'm a caregiver.
wow.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So are you faced with a temptation that's right there in the home where you're caring?
Mm.
Or stresses.
Mm.
Yeah. And if you want to come on and talk, we're here. Oh yeah, you're at work. I hear you. Okay.
There's this thing called the urge wave. It's called riding the urge wave, and it's a technique from smart recovery, and it's like, because urges only last anywhere from like momentary to about 15 minutes. So if you can ride that wave and distract yourself, think about anything else for about 15 minutes and just keep doing that as the urges come, well, you'll find that you can ride the wave, as it's called, because it is a wave, and sometimes it can feel like it's crashing over you because it's a big wave. But if you can just,
Yeah.
even, it's a surfing thing. If you can sort of, even if the wave is too big, just go through the wave, so it doesn't crash you on the shore. And that's, you got to go through the wave, and whether it's big, and you can, going through the wave, it can be something like reaching out for support, which you've done. You're going through the wave.
Yeah.
And just listening to something for 15 minutes, having a 15-minute break. I know it's difficult being a carer.
Yeah.
So if you can just take a moment for 15, or ride the wave,
Yeah.
talk to your person you're caring for if you can about anything, just ride the wave and you'll get through
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
And not
fresh
only
air.
that, feeling like drinking doesn't mean you have to, or using, or whatever your drug of choice is.
That
Thinking it, feeling it, it can be as intense as you would ever think it could be, but it doesn't mean you have to act on it.
and that can be a very good idea to change whatever surrounding you're in, going outside,
Yeah.
changing
A little
something.
change of scenery can be good.
Yeah.
You are not alone, Stacy. You are not alone at all. We've all been there. Those of us
yes,
who've been in
ma'am.
recovery. I have 30 years clean and sober. My drug of choice was alcohol. I did other things too, but I wouldn't say I was dependent on anything other than alcohol. And, it's, I have had cravings even 29 years in. I've had to, I've had stuff that comes up from seemingly out of nowhere to slap me, and make me want to just the impulse to go do something was, and I've had those throughout the whole 30 years. But all you got to do is get through 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes at a time, 15 minutes at a time. Eventually you will find your own mind. It's there. because that's not coming from your own mind. It's coming from something else, usually. Although our own mind can be our own worst enemy sometimes. They call it stinking thinking in AA.
Stinking
Well,
thinking. I like that.
she's here trying to connect it. So I mean, she's doing something right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
There's also the Holtz thing. If you're hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or stressed, and I say stressed as well, so I say it's Holtz. You know, there's I wrote it down. There was something someone said the other week in Smart Recovery, and it really hit. It's to do with Holtz. It's like an added Holt. It's Holt the bads, and bored, anxious, depressed, and stress. You know, so it's different things. There's a whole range of different things that can lead to having urges. Mine majority is stress and lonely, and actually it's all of them except for hunger. So if I'm bored and anxious, then that's
boredom is, oh my God, boredom is one of the tougher ones.
Yeah, and it's just like, and that's actually
that's what we got to learn to live with. Is we got to learn to live within our own selves and realize, okay, life's going to be tedious. Life's going to be boring at times. You know?
Yeah, and I'm not used to being bored because I had kids for 25, you know?
Yeah.
So I never had time to be bored. And when I was bored, I wasn't bored. I was like, thank God I'm not thinking.
Yeah.
So and now it's like, I don't have that anymore. So I don't have that thing I've got to do. So I've got to find something that keeps me entertained. And right now it's YouTube. I'm watching lots of fishing shows on YouTube. But that's my distraction, is when I get bored, I watch escape videos. I call them. I'm planning my escape. So it's just there's a whole range of different things, and as long as you find it entertaining, I think it's a lot easier. So like that's why I use humor a lot, because if I'm laughing, I'm not having urges. So I watch a lot of comedy.
Okay.
Even as a caregiver, you can slow down and take a short break, usually, as much as it doesn't feel like it sometimes, says Mect Murdosh Eagle. I hope I didn't butcher that too bad.
It's like Mac Murdoch. Mac Murdoch. I don't know. It sounds cool.
The neighbor just brought out his puppy. This little dog is my lifeline right now. Yes. Oh, that's so good. That is good.
It went inside, so I'm glad. Some fresh air is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I figured out what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Okay, lay it on us.
Well, like art therapy.
Right on.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
Better living through art projects.
I love that. Yeah, absorbing yourself in something like that can be a very helpful thing. I like to sew.
I got ADD and ADHD, and I'm getting into jewelry making with resin. So
that's amazing. I bet you're gonna make some amazing stuff too.
Well, I don't know that much about fashion, so I don't know about that. I'm good with color. That's the one thing everybody said. You're really good with color.
Right on.
Give me your email address, and I'll send you pictures of stuff I make. So, and you can judge for yourself. Or you can go on Discord and go into the arts and crafts. I got posted a ton of pictures in there.
Yeah, they're really good.
Right on.
That's on the Lifeboat Discord?
Yeah.
That's correct, on Lifeboat Discord.
Awesome.
And if you guys want anything, just email me, hit me up on Discord. We'll figure something out.
Okay.
Because everything is for sale.
Right on.
That's cool.
I just got 4 gallons, so I'm gonna be making inventory for we have community sales and stuff here. So I'm gonna see how it does there. I'm making bottle stoppers right now, but it's my first time making it. I don't think they're gonna come out that good.
Do you do commissioned artwork, or is everything you do by your inspiration? Do people pay you to create certain projects for them?
Yes. I am making one skull for uh, LKF or Kiss
All
Freak.
around.
Yeah.
And I'm making one. He wants 4 of them that look like Kiss. So I'm gonna make one. If he likes that, then I'm gonna make the other 3. It's my idea to just make one, because making 4, I mean,
Oh my.
it's a lot of resin. So I'll make one. And if you don't like it, then I can go back to the drawing board and make another one. But there's a couple other people have word skulls for me too. So skulls seem to be pretty hot right now, because I can
Yeah.
make them any color. I can make them see through. You can hook them up to lights, and you can do whatever you want. That's the reason why I got into the resin stuff, because you can. I mean, I get to make one mold, and I can make them earrings. I can make them a pendant. I can make it into keychain or earrings. Just anything you want. I mean,
I know someone who would be very happy with skulls. So, do you have Facebook? I don't. I avoid a lot of online.
I do have a Facebook, but it's not under my name. Actually, I have 2 of them.
That's okay.
One of them's Resin Templar, like RESIN, and then Templar TEMPLAR,
Oh,
and that's where I've posted my chessboards on there.
Okay.
is it 1 word or 2 words?
2 words.
Okay.
It's the name of my resin company too. So I'm starting slowly.
Right on.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Stacy,
But
have you ever heard of Smart Recovery? They have meetings in my town. So in mine's a fairly small town. So it's SMART, and it's an acronym. If you're able to go to a Smart Recovery meeting, you can get a free handbook, and it's a very helpful tool for times like these.
They also
I
have
actually in the
meetings.
description of needing a meeting side to this meeting, I have a link for the Smart Recovery website. Go ahead, Cosmic.
I was just going to say they also have like in Australia, they have meetings online all the time at all hours of the day.
I have
different
those
types
too.
of
You just
groups.
can't get a free handbook, I don't think, that way.
No, but they've got a whole bunch of the worksheets and everything that's in the handbook. But there's
Okay.
also meetings like this that you do Zoom and all that sort of stuff. But I'm just saying that they're all hours of the day. So if I wanted to, I can join an American meeting over in America on American spot, or I can do the ones here in Australia. So, and it's amazing. I have to say that was my first, after AA, that was my first successful peer support group, and it changed my life. And it was like once or twice a week I did it. This is an everyday type thing, and I'm more involved in this, so this is different. But the Smart Recovery, amazing, and
it's
Smart
for
Recovery.
everything. It's not just for alcohol or drugs. It's for addictive behaviors. It applies to a lot of different things, because they don't focus on you as an addict. Or
no, it's just the last 7 days, the next 7 days.
Yeah.
So it's called self-management and recovery training.
And what can you, and what did you do to stay sober for the last 7 days, kind of thing? Or
and in the middle there's a whole bunch of techniques.
Yeah. It's good stuff. I've been to a few SMART meetings. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of helping one person who does Smart Recovery, just writing down the names, but it's so good. And all the techniques I got from there was just amazing, because I went to AA for like months. Yeah. No techniques, just a whole bunch of stories, war stories.
Yeah.
And then and that's a good thing about Smart Recovery, is no war stories are allowed. There's no you can't sit there and talk about or you can say what your problem behavior is, but you can't sort of dwell too much on it, because it can trigger other people in the group, especially because a lot of people in Smart Recovery are new at recovery, and so they can get a little bit triggered. But it's really good because it can be for anything. It can be for sugar, pornography, gambling, any problem behavior, anything that you find to be a problem addictive behavior that you'd like help with. So, and it's so helpful. It's helped me with other things that I do that are a bit silly as well. So, which I didn't think were problem behaviors. So, but yeah, it's really good. If anyone wants to try it, I fully recommend it.
How about you, Terry? You got anything to offer on that front?
Yeah, I can just say what has worked for me. Similar to a lot of people here, I got clean and sober in Alcoholics Anonymous. I spent the first 18 months of my recovery there, and it worked really well for me until I got on mental health medication. And then I started feeling like I was getting a lot of side eyes from people, and I felt a lot of judgment, and I just could not handle that at that stage of recovery. Wow. And so that's when I started seeking out online communities and found it was like a gradual progression to get here, with this group of people that I'm in with now. It took a little while to find the group, but you found this group already. And I think this is a fantastic source of support personally. I've never tried out Smart Recovery before. I actually started when I was at the Safe House. I started creating an online profile, but then the director was very into AA. She spent 33 years in the program, and she brought me to my first AA meeting, and I just felt at home. I felt accepted until I didn't. So that was my experience. I think the connection and having a group of people, no matter if it's in person or if it's online, I think having the group of people who you can connect with, who's available a lot, and making, aside from the group, making connections with individuals that you can reach out to at all hours. Like, that's one thing I loved about AA personally, is having a sponsor, one that was responsive to me, that I could reach out to anytime. I definitely took advantage of that while I was in the program. I find that I don't need that as much today. I'm more in the maintenance phase of my recovery, where meetings like this kind of keep me even keeled, more or less, except for when I have crazy things happen. But yeah, that's what's worked for me.
Right on.
All right, I gotta go.
When the crazy things happen, it's good to come here. Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm. See you
guys. See you,
guys.
Matrix.
See ya.
Good to see you, Matrix.
Good to see you guys.
And this is a really good place to come, like the Facebook group or Discord is when you're feeling like, crazy or whatever's going on. Like, I've quite often needed a meeting, and I've had people say, like, in the group, saying, I'm ready, I'm here for you now. But knowing that I can do it in the morning, which is a more reasonable time for everybody else, helps too. Like, just knowing that in the morning I can wake up and my people will be here and we can talk about what I'm going through helps. It stops it from me having to deal with it immediately. I can sleep on it, which helps me. So these sort of groups are just so helpful, and it's having the connection and also the empathy and no judgment. The no judgment is the biggest. So if I know that if I stumble and fall or do something silly, I can come and tell my mates, and I'm not going to get, oh, you're so stupid. I'll just get, well, I'm sorry that happened, and what can we do to help? And that's really big.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the Facebook group, I've been meaning to ask. I tried to find your Facebook group, Carol, and I could not find it. And so I'm wondering if somebody, either you or a mod, could drop a link to Carol's Facebook group so that I can find it.
I'll find it.
Awesome.
I'll do it.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Have I made you a mod, Rebecca?
I don't know that I'm a mod on Facebook. I know I have Restream.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it'll post a clickable link unless you're a YouTube mod.
I think, though, it does, because I've posted links via Restream before.
Okay.
So
All right, here we go.
I'll try it and let you know if I have a problem.
Okay. Has anybody else's screen just gone dark?
No. Can you hear us?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear
now.
and now you're back. It's probably because I opened up another browser window. All right, there's a link to the Facebook group, Needing a Meeting.
Perfect.
Also, the Lifeboat has a very active Facebook group, and it's a great place.
And there's a Discord. I can't remember how to do the link, so if anyone else knows how to get the share thing. I can do it on my phone, not on the computer.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, Blessed to Crochet. I was looking out for a link. I must have missed it because I was looking out for the Facebook group. I must have missed it earlier.
Hmm.
Okay.
So how's everybody
Thank you,
going?
Blessed Crochet.
I've got that thing where I don't like silence.
Oh. Depending on your
I'm
insurance
hanging
coverage, they
by
may
a
want you to
fingernail.
turn it.
You are?
Well, I feel super energized because I just got the best news of the week right before this.
Right on.
Why are you hanging by a fingernail?
Yeah, that's a good question. Why?
It's been a rough, long week, and yesterday I had a really bad headache, and I'm trying to remind myself of the last meeting that we had or that I was at, and we talked about fabric because I realize I need help. I can't do all the things I need to do, and I'm struggling with chronic fatigue, which all of you know. And I can't do my day job and give everything to my day job and then do anything else for the rest of the day. I mean, I load the dishwasher, so it's kind of like the basics. So, I took my shower and I load the dishwasher and do, fairly easy, but I'm struggling a lot with those kind of things. And then there's focus. And so my doctor's appointment today was with my psychiatrist. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to change my med just a little bit, hopefully kind of help the focus portion, because there's, as you guys know, there's been all sorts of crazy stuff going on with my work. And I did have a really good appointment with my doctor on Monday. I had another doctor's appointment. So for those that don't know, I'm long COVID and I have a lot of doctor's appointments. It's now 2 years almost. It'll be 2 years, I think, on the 28th from when I got COVID. And I don't know if it's because we're nearing the 2-year mark that I'm struggling emotionally with it, because it's now almost 2 years. This is, I don't like that this might be what the rest of my life is like.
Surely not. Have they given you any kind of prognosis on that?
There's nothing. They don't know. They don't know. And the only other new thing that my doctor told me, and this is my GP, so it's like a follow-up appointment on stuff, but she's like, well, they've now kind of figured out that there's potentially changes that happen in your mitochondria that make this, so the long COVID, and I have to wonder we've heard about chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia and some of these other things for years, and they treated it like it was nothing. And I know that I heard multiple people talk about when the first portion of long COVID came out, they wondered if chronic fatigue was caused by a virus that we just didn't know about, that people didn't.
Okay.
But there's mitochondrial changes that actually happen in your body with it. And that's partially why. So I'm struggling a little bit with all the things. And then my friend Sarah I asked for help because I need help I need to get my air purifiers.
Do they help?
Yes, they do. I need to get, it's spring. I need to get the filters changed, and I need to, because it's allergy season. It's the feeling not great, and the runny nose and some of that. And the headache is some of the headache, like sinus related and allergy related, because I do have allergies. I've had that for many years. But so it was the realization today that I have to ask for help. And for me, I don't like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most of you guys know I don't like to have to ask as much as I need it. And I'm overwhelmed, and I'm a little afraid having her over just because the whole fabric thing. And yeah, I'm trying to just do a little bit and maybe take a little bit more time off. So
Okay.
the boss I did reach out to my boss today about it, and my boss reminded me we're supposed to ask for 2 weeks in advance. No, she gave me time off.
Okay.
Day on Friday, and my friend Sarah's going to come over Friday afternoon to help. And then I've got a couple more days in the next 2 weeks, so full day. But even doing something on a weekend, this is the part that I think is the hardest, is I could do chores on a Saturday, but I will and take off Sunday, intentionally take off to rest. So I could have gone grocery shopping or maybe did a little meal prep, and then Sunday, even taking off all day Sunday and resting and taking a nap and doing all the things, I still am wiped out Monday.
Yeah.
And so it feels like just doing some of those basic things is really, it's just really hard. And I don't know how to get past it.
Right.
And I've had part of what they would like me to do more of is exercise, but what's your level of exercise? I'm not supposed to push myself too far because then I get into the chronic fatigue. Yet I'm also supposed to push myself a little bit to kind of try to get better.
Yeah.
So level of, okay, so we need to kind of push this a little bit. And I don't know.
Have they given you any like ideas as far as exercise? Because I'm going through virtually the same thing, because I now likely have fibromyalgia because of
I've got a little bit of exercise stuff that I did we started with my occupational therapist. So some really, really basic stuff, because I've lost lots of muscle mass. Because the first 6 months to 9 months, I wasn't working full time a year after. I was closer to full time, but I wasn't working full time still at that point. And I had FMLA, I had accommodations. It was, was this 2022 into 2023. My work was okay. But now that COVID is pretty much, it's gone, but it's not as, most people are going back to normal life. I am not. And I can't. And
that's kind of what I was saying, is that it's the same reality. And I've been given hydrotherapy to do because it's low impact. It's also warm. It's gentle on the body. And because I don't have the strength to do a lot of walking. I can walk, I don't know, maybe half an hour, like low impact, very gentle walk for half an hour. And after that, I'm dying. I can't even stand up and do the dishes because I don't have the energy. So, and that's ever since COVID. And it's a reality now that I'm probably going to have to live. Well, I've got that COPD now as well from it, chronic bronchitis.
And I say one of my inhalers is a COPD med, because I got permanent lung damage from it, and moving and added to, that's added to it. So money's a lot tighter here. I'm okay, but it is harder. And then and I can't afford to move. So,
didn't you just move too? Really?
Not that long ago? Did. Yeah.
I just moved. I haven't even been here a year, but it moves from a year lease to month, but you just have to give 60 days. But this is a really good place. Other than how tight things are financially, it's a really good place for me. So things like I have to cancel, and it's one of the things to do is to cancel my color club. It's a fabric. I don't need more fabric. It's $35, but I can't justify some of this stuff. And I have to watch, okay, what other things do I have that I don't really need? And I also have the exercise thing. So because of the lung issues, I have 3 inhalers, and I'm on a shot that is for the type of asthma I've got now. So there's limited amount of exercise I can do because of breathing, and I couldn't do any exercise prior to the move. So I was taking my inhaler. I had a steroid. I was taking 4 times a day. I was taking my rescue inhaler 3 to 4 times a day.
Wow.
And I was taking a COPD drug once a day because you're only supposed to do it once for that.
Okay.
And I moved here, and at least it's normal, but there's still the whole lung issues. So yeah, I don't have COPD, but I've got permanent lung damage now.
Wow.
I have had chronic fatigue syndrome. Mine was caused by acute stress for a prolonged amount of time. Can you do yoga?
A little bit.
I was wondering about that too. There's
good.
also something similar that's called somatic exercises. It's more movement than holding a stretch. Yeah, it's not Tai Chi per se, but they have floor exercises where you're just moving and you're just getting your body moving gently. And
it sounds a lot like restorative yoga, something restorative and very, very gentle.
Yeah.
Works for me really well when I haven't been into my consistent yoga practice for a long time and feel really tired. Depression is what I struggle with, and it's hard for me to get out of bed sometimes. Not these days I'm medicated what I think is appropriately, and so I'm having a much easier time with it. But 6 months ago, I was in a very different position. Like before I started a lot of I undergo ketamine treatment and have been doing that for about 4 months. And so it sounds like you have an appointment scheduled with your psychiatrist today. Did you say?
I had it, earlier. And so
you had it earlier today.
I had it earlier days. That's the reason I actually was able to make today's meeting, because I was done at work at 2:00 to go to that appointment, which I physically drive to. They're not virtual. And then, all he does is the meds. That's all the psychiatrist does. And so we're going to add another med in, but I'm already on probably I think the highest dose for bupropion, and I've got duloxetine too. I think I'm on a medium dose for that. Okay. But then there's side effects to go with all of those.
Yeah.
And normally this is the time of year when I want to get out and I want to do stuff, and yet I think, and I don't know if it's just, kind of feeling overwhelmed, and then suddenly I can't, not even suddenly, that it's nearing the 2-year anniversary. Yeah. And I'm very aware that it's nearing the 2-year anniversary. Yeah. And still, it's better. I can work with a long break that includes a nap. I could potentially work an 8-hour day. I do it, probably 3 out of every 5 for sure.
Yeah.
I have the advantage that I've been at my job so long that I earn like 7 hours of vacation for every paycheck I get. Yep. So between my health insurance and the vacation, and we get the U has a lot of really good benefits. So I get 13 days of sick time. The Minnesota's got a sick something. There's a special one that's giving you 80 hours more. And then because they've there's been enough of that, I'm actually able to accrue some vacation, because for a long time I couldn't. I blew through my sick and vacation as soon as I earned it.
Yeah.
As soon as I earned it, it was used, and then, and then of course, less pay, and it's just all of those things.
Yeah.
And I did. I went to the pharmacy, got my other prescription that I needed, and I'll have to go back again, probably another day or two when the other stuff gets all submitted and filled. And thank you.
I can understand why you'd feel overwhelmed. You've got a lot on.
Yeah, you do.
It feels like, though, I don't do anything. I don't go very many places. A Saturday was a new kind of adventure of sorts for me, because I'm trying to figure out how can I cut some of those expenses. So one of them is, can I get rid of Shipt, which is it does my shopping for me.
Oh, okay.
So one of those online services, it's like $99 a year, and you can do your ordering online. So I can have CVS delivered, or like Target, or Lunds Bar, any of the other things. I can get those delivered to me, and it's life and death. And then, of course, because the people that are doing this, I know they make a lot of times crap for money, so I tip well. And so when I'm planning this in my budget and going, I did grocery shopping. I spent $180. Granted, I got some stuff from Costco that's going to go more than the next 2 weeks, but it's just like how expensive food is, how expensive everything is, then having those moments like, can I afford the cat that I have? I won't get rid of her. Don't get me wrong. I'm not getting rid of her.
But
it's just that I'm giving her healthy food. So it's better food than she was getting before, less carbs, less junk.
Yeah.
And she needs to lose weight. And her fur, you can tell she's healthier too. But it just kind of feels like all of those things. And yeah. And then knowing earlier today, I reached out to my friend Sarah. We talked about it in therapy on Monday too. I love Sarah. She's been part of my chosen family for a couple of decades. But there is a certain portion when it comes to the fabric, when it comes to some of that craft stuff, that there isn't necessarily understanding.
Oh.
And so thank you, Ben, for just saying about the starting a project, because part of what I did Sunday morning was cut out fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I have another little project I can just kind of do. And it was kind of fun cutting out that fabric Sunday morning, let's be real. But
sound of scissors on fabric is amazing. When you're on a scissor on a table, reminds me, it's just something so comforting about it.
Yeah.
Reminds me of my nana.
Yeah.
And for me, it's the cutting mat and the rotary cutter, and then maybe that's what I need to do. I need to go into my closet and start finding more fabric because it's making me smile.
There's some good suggestions here. I've been kind of putting them on the screen. I don't know if you've been seeing.
And I have not, but
let's see.
While she's digging one up, I do hear you. While I don't have chronic fatigue anymore, I do still have that lovely condition I got where it's just my, and I've been through it before. My blood's not transporting oxygen well. That mimics a lot like it because you can't move, your muscles aren't getting oxygen, and I know, even when I do work out, I know my body's atrophying. And but I know I'm on the mend, and I know that this isn't a forever condition. But even that, just between being physically tired and just the depression that goes with it, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough to make you insane. And
Yeah.
so, I'm trying, with all the benefits of, neuroplasticity, I'm trying to get out, just even if I don't do anything, get outside in the sun for You know, I don't know how much of that they get in Minnesota, but
sunny today. We're 6 degrees.
you know, try to get outside for, you know, the morning is better.
Why
But yeah,
more for you?
it helps you with cortisol and the way it kind of helps process your body process in the morning. But even if you can't in the morning, just try to get outside. Try to move. I mean,
movement.
and
Yeah,
don't be down on yourself for getting
if you
tired.
can't.
But
Yeah.
because you know that's just going to lead to a place. Just do what you can. And you know what? If you start like, oh my gosh, my hips bugging me, fine. You
Someone
know,
was
try
asking
sitting
if you
down,
thought you
moving your
could
arms,
swim.
swimming.
I don't have the stuff for it, but so I don't have a swimsuit or then again, what am I saying? I probably could just do it in my shorts.
Shorts
I
and a
don't have a
shirt.
gym membership. But we have, what did you say?
Shorts and a shirt. That's what I swim in. I don't like swimming
Yeah.
in swimmers.
Does the university have a pool that you could have access to?
Not without gym membership. There is the advantage that this summer we have a pool where I live.
Okay.
So we have a fitness center where I live, though most of the exercises I've been given, I do with the 3-pound free weight.
Mm-hmm.
There is some stuff that they said kind of ways to do it at the gym. So there's a couple things I can do. But yeah, there is a pool here. So one of the reasons I pay so much is because there's amenities like that here that I'm not taking advantage of. Of course, the pool is outside. It is not ready.
Chair yoga was another suggestion.
Yes. Yes. I was thinking of chair yoga too.
Oh.
I've always wanted to try chair yoga.
Yeah. I have tried it, and you know, anytime you can do anything that's like that, it seems to help.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I was surprised at that really helps when my energy's low, and you may not have access to this, but it's worth saying regardless. Going from a real hot environment, in my case, I have a little far infrared sauna, but warming yourself up, you could sit in front of a heater and then get your tub,
Is that what
ice water in your tub, and you don't sit in there forever. You sit in there for a maximum of 4 minutes, probably not even that long. You probably want to shoot for a couple minutes. Ice water, I mean ice, tons of ice. You dunk in that, you go back to the hot environment. You go back and forth. What that will do is it triggers endorphins, and it dumps endorphins into your body like crazy. You know, that's what these crazy Alaskans, you know, what do they call it? The bear.
Swedish people.
Yeah, Swedish people with all their other stuff they do. But yeah, the Eskimo Club or the Polar Bear Club, I think is what they call it, where they'll go really hot, then they dunk in the cold water, these sicko perverts, and then they go back and yeah, it feels weird. But it honestly, I mean, yeah, it's cold, and you know you feel it, but
hey, Kelly,
after a while, the pain leaves.
Yeah, because you're too cold to think about the pain.
but after a while, it's like, hey, this is fun. You know, you're from Minnesota. I mean, you got some of that stuff going on anyway.
I was gonna say, couldn't you just do like a shower and go back and forth between hot and
cold shower? Yeah.
Yeah, you could try that. You know, in my case, I'm going a little extreme.
Yeah.
I do the.
There's no weather in the right now outside. It would be cold here, but
it is called the Polar Bear Plug. And also, what is OT, Lacey Silver? OT, occupational therapy, shocks the body back.
I think it's meant to be it. I think it was meant to be
okay. Shocks the body back to normal. Okay.
I just wanted to show you this. This is what my.
What is that?
It's a stretchy cord thing because I can't do too much walking exercises. So this is something I can do in my chair because since I've not been able to do a lot and I'm not so great on the sustenance at the moment. My muscles have been wearing away, so this is something that can increase my muscles give me. It's a way of doing chair exercises. So it's a stretchy cord, and you stick it on your foot, and you do these stretchy things. I'm not going to do it now because it looks silly, but it's really cheap. You can do it in your chair when you're working, and it does actually, because I get all these pains in my arm and stuff. So doing this exercisey thing actually helps with the aches and the pains, because since this fibromyalgia thing, everything hurts. So this helps, the stretchy thing. And it was like $15, probably cheaper where you are. There's a flat version that's kind of round. There's one that gets connected all the way around that's flat. It's like a band. And that's actually the one that I wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're a lot easier to use. This is supposed to be connected to something. I have to get the connecting bit, but I just use it as it is right now. But yeah, the band one's a lot easier, and you can get them in different strengths. So there's the one that's like a light, so it's not so difficult, and it goes all the way up to a bit more hardcore. But it's something that's easy. You can do it in your chair. You can order them online, and have you got a physio or OT?
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Feel free to say a cuss word. Oh, you're on mute again. There you go.
I just don't. I'm sorry. I was taking a couple screenshots of what people had put in the, so I can go back to it. What was the question?
OT or physical therapy?
Yeah, I'm with OT at this point. Part of it is I need to set up physical therapy. So part of what I realize I need to take, and this is part of Friday, is I need to schedule the physical therapy. I need to schedule. I've got a couple more doctor's appointments that I need, that my doctor said, okay, you need to set up this and all of those things, because work gets so busy. I end up on phones. I can't do anything with it. I can't, but yeah.
Well, you probably after you've had a big day, it's a lot to do anything,
Right.
Yeah. True.
And if
do what you can.
Most of the appointment stuff, I can't do it online. I have to call. And so it's got to be during normal business hours.
Right.
And actually, right now we're looking at, it's 5:53 here Central Time.
Yeah.
Poor Tara's.
Were you gonna say something, Tara?
Yeah, I just want to say, I think your fondling fabric idea is amazing. I think it would be a really great activity to do. You could even take your fabric with you on all these other adventures that, the ones that you want to do.
A stack of fabric with me.
Yes.
A fabric fondle fidget bag. Fondle fabric fidget bag.
I love that idea of the fabric fondling because it brings you joy. It's something that made you smile. And I think even just starting there, when I start there with something that I legitimately enjoy, it makes it easier to do other things.
Yeah. I think I need to do more fun stuff because a lot of times there's just no energy for fun. There's no energy sometimes to sew. I couldn't even sew a 1/4-inch seam straight line without making mistakes. And so there's certain points I can't even sew.
Well, and if the physical therapist or anybody you're trying to make an appointment with, I would encourage you to try what I'm planning on trying with the DMV guy is say, I'm Tara. And they'll like, oh, you're Tara. Oh, here, take all the money out of my wallet. Get her in the special line.
This is not medical advice or mental health advice.
Thank you, Ben. You're awesome. Have I told you lately how awesome you are? You always make me laugh. Mm-hmm. Not that all the rest of you are not awesome.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know why, but you always.
Everything is awesome.
Yes.
Everything is cool when we're part of a team.
Yes.
I love the Lego movie.
I like lurkers too. I tend to lurk if it's been I lurked a little bit yesterday. And then the headache was so bad, I'm just like, I can't even work. I can't have sound. So
fabric boards are a wonderful tool for folks on the spectrum. Okay. And everyone else. It's fun to have that tactile experience. That's true. I made a board for a friend's son. Nice. Love that.
I've never heard of that. Like
it's a whole range of different fabrics and stuff, so that especially with children, they like to feel different things. So you can have smooth fabric and a fluffy fabric or a crunchy one. It's different textures and stuff. So you'll find me as quite on the spectrum. I'll be walking through a clothing shop and I'll touch everything. I touch everything. So, I was that parent who couldn't tell my kids to stop touching stuff because I was the one going all the way up the clothes stuff. Because if I don't like the way it feels, I'm not going to like the way I wear it. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm touching everything, and also I just like touching stuff. I like stuff, not people.
And hello, Steeras. This one says you select all different types of fabrics and textures, from sandpaper to velvet to tweed, etc.
I just screenshot that.
Right on.
Yeah. I have a little bit of velvet, cotton velvet. Nice. I will say silk velvet is amazing, but I gave that away because I realized I was never going to sew a velvet skirt because I just was never going to do that.
Okay.
Because velvet is a little crazy to sew, and then wearing that and sitting on it and crushing the velvet, I realized was probably not a good idea. That was maybe not very well planned. But
it's nice to have an overcoat of velvet so you can take it off when you sit down. But my favorite texture is suede. I love anything suede. So I love my leather hat. I'm like touching it. But yeah, underneath I like the feeling. I just love it because this side's all like smooth and this side's all like rough. And it also smells nice because it's leather.
So. Sewing is actually a really handy skill because I've tried repairing clothes and things like that, and usually there'll be much blood drawn when I try it, along followed by a masterpiece, a tapestry of obscenities, if you will. I am a master of doing that. So
I do a lot of this sewing and mending, if it needs a machine, especially. For friends too. So one of my friends was over a couple of weekends ago, and one of her belt loops, belt loops. Sorry, on her pants was starting to rip the jeans a little bit, and then I let's fix this. So that with the help of a little bit of an iron-on patch and some sewing, you wouldn't know looking at it now that there was anything. But there's no longer a hole in her jeans, and she can use that belt loop partially. It's smaller. It's a smaller belt loop now than it was, but yeah, it's like brand new pair of jeans.
That's so awesome because there's nothing worse. It's like so hard for me anyways to find a good pair of jeans. So you saved her pair of jeans. That's awesome.
Yes.
I'll have to send you a message because I've got a cheesecloth dress that I sat down a little bit too enthusiastically and it's ripped at the back. So I have to ask you how to fix it. How I can fix it.
And some of them, there's iron-on patches that do it, but there's all that they physically make that are designed to look like the Japanese art of using the gold?
Oh yeah, Kazuki or something like
that.
Kazuki.
Patches.
Wabi sabi.
Yes. There's actual patches you can buy that you put on the clothes, and you could randomly put some other places intentionally so that if you can't be fixed. So some things you can't fix without it showing.
Yeah.
But yarn shops, yeah. I do. That's my problem. I touch the yarn at a yarn shop too. I just don't buy it all.
I do that too because you know how there's ones that are really soft, they're like baby blanket ones. I pick them up and I'm like, and I have dreams of eventually
baby alpaca.
Oh my.
Baby alpaca is wonderful.
Oh my.
My friend Trudy made me. I got it for Christmas and my friend Trudy knitted it up for me.
Wow. That sounds amazing.
It does sound amazing.
Alpaca is
There's
nice.
also bamboo wool.
I like
The bamboo
alpaca,
wool's
but it
really
makes me smell like an alpaca shirt. Like my armpits start stinking, but the merino wool doesn't stink. So I like the merino wool.
Hey, go use what works for you.
Yes.
Bamboo, actually, my batting that I like the most is a combo of bamboo, rayon, silk, and tencel, I think.
Okay.
It doesn't stink as much as cotton or cotton poly. So I do have, I do fondle that too sometimes because it just
I just think that's such a great idea. I love that for you right now.
I have cuddle. Oh, I've got cuddle fabric in the closet. Leftover bits from a project, and I don't know if you know what cuddle fabric is. It's like that really plush, like stuffed animals are made out of it.
Mm.
Oh yeah. No,
Oh yeah.
Well, I have to go because it's 9 o'clock here, and it's Anzac Day in Australia.
And we've been going for over 2 hours, y'all. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Time flies.
So it's Anzac Day here in Australia. It's the day that we recognise Australian and New Zealand soldiers.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's got something to do with Gallipoli. I hope not, because we lost that. So, but yeah. So I'll just love you and leave you, and see you tomorrow.
You too.
Good to see
Have
you,
a good day.
Love you.
Love you too.
I'll go into my closet and I'll touch some fabric after I have some dinner.
Right on.
I love that idea.
Thank you.
Love that idea.
I hope they find something that, and between you and them, I hope they find something that gets you at least somewhat out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I
No
hope.
way to live.
Yeah.
I hope that I'm just like a science experiment that they utilize, because there is, and I know there was multiple things that have come up where, they use your chart information for experiment or kind of to compare the people that have COVID. Maybe they will take all the things they've tried, and then maybe somebody else will not have that. That's what I keep trying to remind myself. Maybe I'm going through this and somebody else will not have to go through this.
Right on.
Because they figured out everything. It just makes me really wish that they had been able, that I had gotten Paxlovid, or because I went into the hospital and I wasn't given the antivirals. So apparently you got Paxlovid and there's another med in combination, you're less likely to get long COVID. But neither one of those were things I was given at the time. And I've not gotten it at the time.
And did they have those things at the time?
They did, but Paxlovid was one that they were it's short supply. And so I didn't appear to be a high risk person at the time, other than the allergies, and I was a little overweight. So I never got it. And now I really wish that had not been the case. And now I push everybody to get it. If you can, if you want it and you can get it, do it, because I don't want people to go through this. Some people, it's no big deal.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that you noticed or said a few minutes ago that if somebody else doesn't have to go through this because you've gone through it, that's so pragmatic of you. And I think that's a strength here too. I see all kinds of strengths about you, Rebecca.
I'm just trying. I don't want people to worry. I'm not like at risk for hurting myself or anything. It just gets really hard some days, and today is just
a hard one.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
So
wish I could hug you right now.
I know. You're definitely not alone. Like, we're so here with you.
Thank you.
I wish there was something I could do also, but I think maybe a air hug is probably the best.
We'll do the crystal hug.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the crystal hug. Yeah.
Made me think of it. Thank you. I guess I didn't realize how much I needed to talk about that.
Right on. I'm glad you did. Because you're probably not the only one that's suffering with something like that.
Yeah.
Or that very, very thing.
Old. It's if it had been a couple of months, it still would be old, but it wouldn't feel as bad. but we're
You
almost
said-
2 years.
That's what I was just about to say. You were just saying earlier that you're coming up on 2 years, and I can relate to that because it's been over 3 years since I've been on my surfboard. I have not surfed in my recovery yet, and it's like it's devastating. Yeah, I'm smiling, but it's not fun. It's not a funny thing. It's like something very deep is going on there, and I'm really hoping to hop back on my board this upcoming like summer season. With the weather being nice, I have all the equipment I need for warm weather, but I just so relate to what you're saying about coming up on an anniversary, because it's like, what am I doing with my life type of thing. I haven't been out there in the water for 3 years. It's hard for me to wrap my head around.
And the ice, I think it's that and the isolation, because I live alone, and granted I have a cat now, and DJ is amazing, and I'm so glad that I got her. And little things like her waking me up this morning with like on my like part of my chest, so she's like right here, and she's making biscuits on me and purring, and like that's the best way to wake up in the morning, or at least one of the great ways. But
I don't know if the lifeboat can see comments that I typed, so I wanted to respond to Bridget Alexander's question about wanted to know if you had a reaction to a vaccine. And she's actually got long COVID, because she actually got it, did not get any antivirals, and is now suffering with almost 2 years of long COVID. That's what that is, Bridget. That's all. That's what.
No issues with vaccines. Never had a problem with the vaccine. And I've actually, because I didn't want to risk getting COVID again, I'm fully vaccinated. So I've had 5 shots of it. Yeah. So I've done, each time you could get it. I had 2 shots of it before I got, technically a third, but the third hadn't taken effect. So when they were allowing the first time to do the boosters, I had just gotten the booster, and 3 days later I was exposed and I got it. So that didn't really take effect. And I continued to get all the vaccines, including things like shingles, because I'm now old enough, because I don't want to get shingles either. So no issues with vaccines. It's just...
Yeah, 100%. Well, are you feeling any better emotionally, at least?
A little bit. I think I needed to talk about it, so thank you.
Yeah. So glad you did talk about it.
I'm glad you did.
I have cherry wood fabric, and if you don't know cherry wood fabric is hand dyed, and it's extremely expensive, and it's the most amazing fabric ever. Okay, maybe not, but it feels a little suede-ish, and it's really amazing. And I don't know what I'm going to make with it, but I have some that I really should figure out something to make with. Yeah, there's a little paralysis cutting into the amazing fabric, because it's retail is like $24 a yard compared to what normal quilters cotton, and this is cotton too. Normal quilters cotton, if you can get it on sale, you may be able to get for less than $10, but they're going for $13 to $17 a yard now. So this is expensive than that, but it's cherry wood.
That's awesome.
I have something called Lagoon, greens and blues, and I have to figure out what to do with it. It's amazing fabric.
I love greens and blues together.
I definitely want to know what you do with it.
Yeah. I have a gray, black, and red as well. And maybe I'll grab that one instead, because that one is less my favorite than the blues and greens, because I love blue. So maybe I'll do the greens, reds, and black, because if I mess that one up, I'll feel less bad about it and put it away.
Good idea.
Give it to somebody who will love it. But that's what I'll do tonight. I'll look at quilt patterns.
There you go. There you go. Take your mind off it at least. Yeah.
Thank you. And quilt patterns doesn't require a lot of brain.
Right on.
Or any energy. Just the interwebs. Thank you. Thank you both.
And with that, I'm so looking forward, Rebecca, to hearing how that goes for you. And I'm going to roll out. My bladder can't take anymore. Sorry if that was TMI. But I will see you all soon. Lots of love.
Right. Love.
Love.
Yes. Love, hugs, and support to all of you, including the people in the comments.
Yes.
I'm gonna go figure out food.
Okay.
It'll be reheating something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Gotta eat.
I do. Or I could do PB&J.
There you go. Yum. Have you ever toasted a PB&J?
No.
Try it. You'll never go back. You'll never go back. Stick a PB&J in. Do you have a toaster oven?
No. I'd have to do it in the oven.
Okay.
You know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. It just seems like work. But a PB&J does seem easy. I think that's what we'll do. I don't have to even cook. I don't even have to put something in the microwave.
Yeah. Tastes good for you.
Yeah. Well, good night. Thank you all.
Good night. Yeah.
Well,
what is that in your mouth? What was that?
It's a pen.
Oh.
And I stuck, I have survey whiskers. You stick them on nails for when you're out surveying. It's one of these things where I have like 8 nails and I ordered the whiskers to go with it and they gave me like 80 pairs to go with 8 nails. So yeah, I've been using them to stick up my nose, all sorts of things like that.
I just noticed your name. No, I'm Tara.
Yeah. It kind of goes with the no. I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus. Spartacus, get whipped. But yeah. So yeah, that's my. I'm gonna try that line next time to see what happens. But I do hope you have.
I hope you do too.
And I hope the donkey's doing okay. And
yeah, he seems to be.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, you are Saint Bacon Bits now. Okay. You take care. Have a great day.
You too, Ben. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Well, folks, these meetings don't normally go this long, but they can go this long. Today was one of those days it did, and that's okay. And but I usually try to keep it to an hour, hour and a half, but sometimes people just need to talk and they need a meeting. And so we have a meeting, for whatever that looks like. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Lifeboat crew. Love you guys. Love you needing a meeting, folks. You guys are awesome. You make a wonderful community to be part of. And I hope to see you again next meeting. Let me get my outro queued up here. Live long and prosper. And peace, y'all.